My God, I hate drugs.
Right now that we're being joined by Senate President Tito Soto. Sir, thank you very much for taking this call.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah. Well, Senator Soto, can we begin, sir, with the arrest or the turnover of custody from the Senate, from you, of Senator Trillanes to the police officials? What happened there po, sir?
Well, I was informed this afternoon that there was a warrant of arrest issued by the RTC in Makati, and the Sergeant at Arms was informed that the CIDG and General Elizar, together with the Chief of Police of Makati, were on their way to the Senate. So I think Senator Trillanes was informed. So when I told him about it, he knew about it already, and I knew that he was going to face the warrant because that was what he promised me. That as long as there is a warrant, he will face it.
Well,
So
that's
what happened. So that's what happened.
Well, that's also what Attorney Robles was saying, that yun naman daw talaga yung what Senator Trillanes promised you, and that's what happened. And well, it's a good thing that apparently the way this arrest and or turnover of custody turned out, things turned out well.
Oh yes. What we did was that I called the session first at 3 o'clock, and then I suspended it after the call of the roll. And then we asked that I brought Senator Trillanes to the lounge at the back and asked that General Elizar come up, and I wanted to talk to him first. And that's what happened. So it was very orderly, nothing untoward, everything was fine. The charge was read to him, the warrant was read to him, his rights were read.
Yung pagiging orderly nitong lahat, sir, was there parang a prior meeting between you and the other senators and several officials of the AFP and the PNP, or were there at least kumbaga prior conversations para maging maayos ang lahat? In other words, what you wanted was yung maging maayos ang lahat, maging orderly.
We didn't have actually any official dialogue with anyone. We just followed what was the SOP, so to speak. You know, we just followed the SOP, and everything turned out fine. We did not have any prior dialogue with any of the officials of the Philippine National Police.
Or the armed forces?
I beg your pardon?
Or the armed forces, sir?
The armed forces, yes. None of the armed forces had a dialogue with any of us.
So, Senator Soto, moving forward po, well, Senator Trillanes preferring, if I'm not mistaken, to stay at the Senate, that's okay with you, right? How do moving forward, what happens next? How do you see things turning out?
Well, it is up to the senator, because he was given a bail. And then any sitting senator can stay in his office anytime. We cannot prevent anyone from not staying or staying in his office for whatever time he wants. But I have already informed Senator Trillanes that the procedure that we follow, just to make sure that we're not wasting people's money, I'm cutting off the air conditioning of the whole building from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day, and none on weekends. So whether a senator stays there or not, it's up to him.
All right, Senator Soto, anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, the members of the Senate were just following the rule of law. We just followed standard procedures. You can rest assured that we will keep on working. We will try to be as hardworking and as efficient as ever, whether we will be only 21, 20, or 19. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Senate President Tito Soto. Thank you, sir, for joining us this evening. Now, earlier, I spoke to Acting Prosecutor General Richard Fadulyon about this development on Trillanes' case. He was among the Justice Department's team of prosecutors who filed an urgent motion for an arrest warrant and a whole departure order against the senator at Makati RTC Branch 150. Here's that interview.
the Department of Justice acted on the basis of Proclamation 572, which directed us to work on the cases that were filed previously as against Senator Trillanes. Now, as far as the case in RTC Branch 150, before the grant of amnesty, the status was that he was out on bail, having been granted bail by the court, and then the order dismissing the case by reason of his application for amnesty was issued after. Okay, now, as a consequence of that, he was out. There was no more case as against him. Now, by virtue of our Proclamation 572, which declared his amnesty void ab initio, the proclamation itself stated that the reason for declaring it void ab initio is the failure of Senator Trillanes to comply with the minimum requirements of the Proclamation 75, the one that granted him amnesty. And if you look at Proclamation 75, the form itself that was provided for by the Amnesty Commission created by then Secretary Gasmin, it stated several requirements, among them the filing of the application, the admission of guilt of the offenses charged, and that would be the offense of coup d'etat and rebellion, and then a recantation of the statements that were issued. In addition to that, there should have been a narrative or a statement of facts supporting these recantations or admissions. During the hearing, it appeared that, one, they could not produce any copy of the supposed application that Senator Trillanes is claiming to have filed. And two, there is no showing that he did in fact comply with the requirements stated in the form itself approved by the Amnesty Commission. And I think on the basis of that, the court agreed with the arguments of the prosecution, saying that if the order was premised on an act or an inaction on the part of the accused, meaning to say the amnesty which he applied for did not conform to all the requirements, or his application did not conform to all the requirements, then it naturally follows that the order dismissing it is likewise defective.
And that's why,
yes.
And that's why, Prosecutor Fadulyon, what you're saying is that it is void ab initio, void from the very beginning, and bumabalik siya sa status niya before the amnesty was given. That is your argument,
that is correct.
No?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct po.
Oh. Now, the issue about having applied for an amnesty, and I'm sure you've seen this, you're probably on social media, so you know what people are saying, and many arguments about this, no? Na ang daming nagsasabi na, paano na ito? Halimbawa, meron kaming i-apply sa gobyerno. Natural, minsan, hindi naman tinatago yung kopya ng application form. So, how does that work?
Well, ganito po, no? Yung iba hong nag-apply, I think wala naman silang dapat ipangamba. Dahil sa ang pinag-uusapan ho natin dito at ang action po ng department ay lamang po doon sa Proclamation 572. At nakatuon po ito doon kay Senator Trillanes. Now, what is difficult to believe, Pia, is that, you know, Senator Trillanes was under detention for a long period of time, several years. And here you are now, you have a document which is actually the document which will facilitate your plea, no? The application for amnesty, and it appears to have been missing. Ang nakapagtataka ito, parang mahirap naman paniwalaan na ang isang dokumento na napakahalaga ay hindi man lang pinag-ingatan.
Hindi pinag-ingatan, Nino?
Hindi pinag-ingatan ni Senator Trillanes.
Kasi Senator Trillanes, so dapat meron siyang kopya ng kanyang sariling application ng amnesty.
Yes, ma'am. Yan po ang hinahanap ng
pero dapat yung gobyerno din. Pero dapat yung gobyerno din, yung Defense Department, yung Armed Forces in this case, dapat sila rin ang may kopya, hindi ba?
Well, if in fact there was an application that was filed, that is the contention also. Ang sinasabi namin, kung meron talagang application na final si Senator Trillanes, then dapat on record ito. No, dapat nasa record po ito. Lumalabas po sa records na hindi po makita at wala pong papeles na nandoon.
Yeah. When you say records, Prosecutor Fadulyon, you're referring to that certification issued by a colonel in J1 of the AFP saying na wala silang makitang records. Right?
Yes.
So why is Senator Trillanes saying na ito yung mga records ko, ito yung amnesty, ito yung sulat ni yung letter halimbawa ni former Defense Secretary Voltaire Gasmin, etc.
Yes, he's talking about the certificate of amnesty issued to him by Secretary Yasmin. He's talking about the ad hoc committee memorandum that was supposedly filed in court. But here, we're talking about the application form itself, Ma'am Pia, na sinasabi na patunay na, number one, na siya talaga ng application at nag-comply po siya sa lahat ng requirements na nakatuon at nakasaad doon sa application form.
Yeah, oo. This can be a very interesting but a very long discussion, Prosecutor Fadulyon. So I guess in very short and simple language, what happened was nakahanap kayo ng butas kay Senator Trillanes. Itong issue ng the failure na pag-ingatan, itong application form, etc. So we're here at this point, Prosecutor Fadulyon. The other part of the question has to deal with how was it possible that if a case is dismissed, pwede siyang ma-revive? And then sabi mo, kasi nga yung basis natin, Proclamation 572, which voids that amnesty. And if the amnesty is voided, and therefore the result of that voiding of the amnesty, which is the dismissal of the case, kumbaga, never happened.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. Because,
yes.
Prosecutor, you're a lawyer, no? So you, of course, you would know better. Because when a case is dismissed, and if this is has nothing to do with amnesty, no, given to anyone, when a case is dismissed, it is as good as an acquittal. Right? In other words, dismissed, hindi mo na pwedeng ibalik yung kaso, bumalik ka doon sa kaso ng taong yan dahil nga dismissed. Di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Para kang na-acquit.
Yes, let me explain. No? Yung sinasabi namin, ang sinasabi ng Proclamation 572, void yung kanyang amnesty application. Remember that his case was dismissed by reason of his supposed filing of an application for amnesty under Proclamation 75.
Yes.
So, ang korte ay naniwala na siya po ay nag-file ng kanyang application. Wala pong kasalanan ng korte nito because they had no way of validating whether all the requirements were actually complied with. Now, since hindi alam ng korte kung talagang siya ay nag-file o hindi, dahil nag-file lamang siya ng motion sa korte na sinasabi nag-apply ako ng amnesty, ginrant ng korte at dinismiss yung kaso. Ito na ngayon, after in-re-examine ito, tinignan, na pinag-aralan, siya ba ay nag-comply? At lumalabas na hindi siya nag-comply. Ang tanong ngayon, that judgment, no, since ang basis niya is void from the very start, the order granting the dismissal likewise is affected at least to the extent of, insofar as it applies to Senator Trillanes. Now, sasabihin niya final and executory, matagal na ito, ilang taon na ang nakalipas. There is such a thing as if a judgment is void, no right emanates from it. A government cannot be stopped from questioning or raising the issue, no, to try and rectify the error that was committed. Para mga sinasabi is, dahil ba nagkaroon ng pagkakamali si Senator Trillanes na hindi siya nag-file at ang korte ay napapaniwala niya, ang gobyerno ay wala ng habol para iwasto itong pagkakamali na ito. So palagay namin po hindi.
Prosecutor Fadulyon, itong amnesty na binigay sa iba pang mga tao, no, kabilang na mga military rebels, are those in jeopardy also?
Well, I don't want to look into that just yet. Right now, our focus is just on 572. And like I said, the subject is as far as the application of Senator Trillanes only is concerned.
Okay. So kanina, di ba, binanggit na nga natin, bumabalik siya sa status niya before the amnesty. On November 2021, no, yung hearing na sinet ni Judge Alameda. So parang babalik tayo dun sa point na prosecution na ang magpe-present ng evidence. Correct?
Yes,
what kind of evidence, therefore, are you going to be presenting? Evidence about his participation in the
Manila Peninsula siege, ma'am.
Sorry?
The evidence insofar as his involvement and participation in the Manila Peninsula siege.
Manila Peninsula siege. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe to us what kind of evidence that is? You're going to have to unearth that evidence because it's been what, 8 years? 7, 8 years, no, since...
Well, sa ngayon po, hindi ko po may disclose kung ano po specifically ang ebidensya na to, no? Kasi right now, we're also preparing for that eventuality that, when the court already directs the prosecution to present evidence, that we will... that's why we're looking into our records now para malaman po kung saan ho tumigil at nang sa ganun, we'll take off from there and start presenting evidence.
Okay. Kanina sinabi na nga ni Senator Trillanes, democracy lost, and he had, well, very choice words for the president. Again and again, he says this is harassment harassment of him. How do you react to this as a lawyer, as a prosecutor?
Well, ang sa amin ho, no, as far as we, the Department of Justice, are concerned, there was a portion of Republic Act, of Proclamation 572, which directed the prosecutors precisely to work on the revival of these cases. Proclamation 572 has not been declared unconstitutional. So it's a valid proclamation. Sinusunod po namin yun. Ngayon, ayaw ho namin ihalo ito sa politika kung ano man ho yung pananaw ni Senator Trillanes nito, harassment o meron ng kaaway. Ayaw na ho namin pumunta dun sa punto na yun kasi ang amin lamang po is nililimitahan namin doon sa aspeto na involved yung korte. Kaya sa korte ho kami nagpunta.
Okay. Last two questions. The second to the last question is that nabanggit mo this has not been declared unconstitutional. The senator went to the Supreme Court asking for this to be stopped. The Supreme Court saying in so many words na no, we can't do that. And as a matter of fact, they said, wait, let me get that particular quote. There is no extreme and urgent necessity for the court to issue an injunctive relief, considering that the respondents have acknowledged Senator Trillanes' right to due process. But now that, now he's been arrested, posted bail, released, provisional liberty, etc., the case goes on, can he still file can he still go to the Supreme Court to stop this revival of an old case?
I really don't know what course of action Senator Trillanes or his legal team will take, no? But certainly we have also to look into the pending petition which is before the Supreme Court. I do not know if he will raise the matter there or decide to file a separate action. It's something that I think best will be answered by the team of Senator Trillanes.
Okay. And my last question, Prosecutor Fadulyon, is before you went to Judge Elmo Alameda of Branch 150, you went to, was it 148, no? Kay Judge Andres Soriano.
Yes, ma'am.
At humingi din kayo, you asked for the same thing, an alias warrant and HDO, but you didn't get it from Soriano, you got it from Alameda. Bakit kaya?
Well, right now ho, ma'am, hindi pa naman ho tapos yung proseso doon sa 148, no? It takes a longer time kasi mas parang napabilis itong kay Judge Elmo Alameda for the reason that he set it for hearing, he heard oral arguments, and right there, right then, he asked us to mark our evidence already. And on the basis of that, rule on the evidence that we submitted. As far as RTC Branch 148, there are still exchanges of pleadings that are going on. And we hope to see the case be resolved also, at least our motion will be resolved also not later than next week po.
And there is that possibility that 148 will also issue an arrest warrant against the senator?
Well, I do not want to speculate on the action of RTC 148, ma'am.
Yeah.
Pero ang tawag dito, if we're talking about possibilities always there.
Okay. Final words, Prosecutor Fadulyon?
Ang sa amin, the reason why, like I said, ulitin ko, kaya kami nagpunta sa husgado because sa tingin po namin, yun po ang tamang pamamaraan. Idaan po ito sa putong legal. No? And that any arguments for or against it should be raised before the courts. No? As far as the politics behind it is concerned, we're not privy to that, and we're not even taking that into consideration in the actions that we take.